Um, he was an aggressive man. He had anger issues. Uh, he those were some of I think some of the things that would irritate him. Even though he also had a very good side, but I think also, um, as I said, he didn't know how to handle well a woman that has a kid, and that made him the way of him as a man trying to handle this woman who has a kid.
Welcome to Beyond the Pulpit podcast, episode 39. I'm your host, Silas Otieno, and I am happy to be here. I'm happy for this chance we have to go through conversations that are engaging. Last time we did an interview with the chairman of KBA Group of Schools, and there are a lot of insights. I'd encourage you to go and watch the show and give us some feedback on what you think about how our show has gone. Today, we are privileged to have one guy that I've watched. I've seen his interview somewhere else, and I like his story. And today he's going to talk about fatherlessness, the effect of growing up fatherless, and what it has done to him. And I have watched his interview, and he has an amazing story that I would like us to join in and listen to his story. One thing I say about your story is nobody can argue with your story because it is unique to you. It is what you have gone through. And there are some lessons that I hope we will pick from this conversation that we'll have. And we hope that if you are someone who is going through the same life that our guest today is going through, that you would adjust, you would know that it's not the end of the world. You know that there is a lot of hope in this world. As long as we are alive, as long as we are born, as long as we see another day, there's always hope to become better people. Our past does not determine where our future will be, and we have to, in as much as we look at our past, we have to be always careful of where we are going or where our future lies, because I like to say that you are not responsible for where you come from, but you are responsible for how you turn out.
Mhm.
And so it is an honor to have you on set. Karibu sana Peace. You will introduce yourself and you will tell us more about who you are before we begin the story. So tell us who you are and just a bit about you before we go to your story. Karibu.
Thank you so much. It's a privilege to be here. My name is Peace, and that's what all my friends call me. Um, Officials' names are Pius Muli Kalu.
Pius Muli.
Kalu. I am a yoga teacher and a mental wellness facilitator.
You teach yoga and mental wellness. Would tell me something about yoga. What does yoga do to you?
Um, Yoga has influenced me in a certain way. Yoga has helped me to be more grounded, to be more present, and to become more aware. I would say that the reason why I'm able to do this podcast, uh, the biggest strength comes from the sense of self awareness that I have gotten from yoga.
Okay.
Yes.
So yoga stretching. I see people with mats and stretching, or is it more mental? Is it physical or is it both mental and physical?
Um, Yoga touches all the aspects of mental, physical, emotional, and depending with the person, also spiritual.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, yes.
Okay. So that is what you do. Okay. I'd like to learn a bit about yoga. I usually say in the other podcast, Red Pill Conversations, that I get home and I do yoga. My yoga is shutting up. So if you if you see me asking about yoga and I say I like to do yoga, that was not true. That was not true. but it's just a way of personally meditating. So let's know about Peace and how you grew up. We'd like to hear your story so that from your story we can have some conversations. I'll be cutting you short on some places and asking some few questions, so I hope you don't mind.
Mhm.
And let's begin from the beginning.
Um, just to give you a story a bit about myself. Um, I was born on 27 January 1987. Uh, my mom was a single mom, and she got married to uh, a guy in 1988, and so we moved from where my mom was living to a place called Masinga
Where was your mom living?
in Thika.
In Thika. Okay.
Yes. So we moved to a place called Masinga, 1988. Um, then my mom and my current dad, 1982, they had issues with their relationship. So they separated a bit.
What are the issues, if you would not mind talking about?
They were not getting along. I think they they had issues. You see, like when normally when people have relationships, most of the time they have issues. Like um, they have fights, and there were a lot of things that were happening between my stepdad and my mom. So it led to them not getting along. So
Okay,
that's why.
before we proceed,
Yes.
had you at any point in your mom's relationship with your stepfather, did you witness the fights firsthand, or when they were fighting, they were going somewhere where you cannot see, or were you present and seeing them fight?
I saw the fights. There was a lot of violence when I was a small kid.
Physical.
There was a lot of physical violence. Yes.
Okay.
hmm
So how did that affect you as a young person?
Um, these, when I was a kid, I would say I didn't understand exactly what was happening because I was just a kid, and just like kids are very innocent. I guess just being in the space, I just picked the consciousness.
Okay.
Then when I grew up, that's when I realized how the way my parents used to live with each other, how it affected me, and some of the struggles or challenges that I developed out of that were mental health struggles, such as being absent-minded, being nervous, mood swings, loneliness, self-sabotage, low self-esteem, rejection, some traits of ADHD and bipolar, all those things.
Okay. If you can recall a scenario, how did the fights normally start? How did they start? Like maybe you are in the house. How did those fights, if you can recall and if you're comfortable talking about them?
Mm, In my journey of healing, and with the wisdom that I have and with the knowledge that I have, I believe that my current dad, he was just a mjama, just a guy who had not really like looked deep into himself as a man who is coming to marry a woman that has a kid. And so for me, I just, in my journey of healing and my introspection, I just saw this person as someone who got into relationship without just considering a lot of stuff. And in my introspection, I have looked at the situation and put myself in the shoes of my stepdad. And in a normal situation, I would say some of the things he was doing, I would definitely would do them, and I would say that some of the things that I saw him do, I have also done them.
Okay, so what did he do? What was he doing? Just one example that you can remember. If you can't remember, it's fine.
Um, he was an aggressive man. He had anger issues. He Those were some of I think some of the things that would irritate him, even though he also had a very good side. But I think also, um, as I said, he didn't know how to handle well a woman that has a kid, and that made him the way of him as a man trying to handle this woman who has a kid, uh, you know, trying to put the family together, like in a way, like when you are a man and you have a woman, you are the one who set the pace. You're the one who creates the vision. You're the one who creates the dream. You're the one who creates whatever you want for the family.
Mhm.
And I definitely would say he really struggled with that.
Okay.
And yeah, he
He
struggled.
struggled as a leader. He
Yeah.
struggled showing leadership and direction and all that.
Yes.
Would you say that did you feel loved or invited or welcomed in his life? Leave alone your mom, because your mom is obvious. You are the child. Did you feel invited into his life? Is he someone you would say, even though he had anger issues, he was someone that I was looking up to?
If I would have felt love, I don't think I would be here having this conversation.
Mhm.
And one of the reasons why I'm here, it's because I have struggled a lot with love issues,
Okay.
and for some time I haven't been able to understand
Mhm.
what love is,
Okay.
because I didn't see a man love a woman, and that is a very ugly picture for me,
Okay.
and it makes me see the world in a different way.
Okay, okay, that is an interesting way to look at it.
Mhm.
So now you were saying your mom and your stepfather parted ways.
Mhm.
Uh, what happened next?
they they were having ups and downs in the beginning of the relationships. So, like just as I said in the beginning, in 1992, when they separated, uh, 1994, they got back together.
Okay, so for 2 years they were apart.
Yes,
Mhm.
1994.
Before you
Got
go
back.
back to you go to them getting together.
Yeah.
So now here is you and your mom, and the stepfather has moved. How was life living with your mom alone? Did you feel more loved? How was the environment?
Uh, my mom was there for me 100%. My mom did in everything that she could do to make sure that I was protected. She made sure that I had clothes. She made sure that I had a place to sleep and I had shelter. So my mom was there in my life 100%. And I would say, even one of the things that I have developed as a man is I found myself, when I began my journey of healing, I found myself to have uh, uh, more of a feminine kind of an energy,
Okay.
because the person that was really very supportive in my life was my mom.
Okay.
And it's a good thing when you it's a good thing for a woman to support you, but also I feel like children need both the masculine and the feminine energy, but I also feel like they have to be both very positive and very supportive, so that the child, when the child grows, he is very stable mentally, physically, and emotionally. And I never got that. Is not something that I got.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So you were very accustomed to the feminine energy, which is important. I usually say that when a child is growing up, especially the boy child,
Mm-hmm.
in their early years, between I think when they have been born to when they get to teenage years, they need their mother more. Not that they don't need their father. They see their father as a figurehead,
Okay.
but they tend to bond more with their moms in terms of nurture, because this is a period when they are being brought up. And then it gets to a point where the father is a very important person. As this young person is getting maybe to understanding himself as a boy, maybe early teenage, I can say from the age of 10, just a wild guess. But from the age of 10, you tend to see when you a child looking up to their father in terms of how he behaves, how he talks, where he sits. Children like to imitate heroes. That's when children like to play wrestling, because they look at masculine men hitting each other.
Yeah.
So I think those are the ages when a father's role is very important in the life of the child. But let's continue. So after 2 years of separation, your dad came back, your stepfather came back to your life together with your mother. How was it, and how did it happen?
Um, I think the relationship for them in the beginning was a big struggle, and they have stayed that for long. Just having this struggle, finding a grounding for their family or for their relationship, and they have been able to stay together, and they have been able to work out things together. And I would say currently now they are very peaceful. Some of those things that were happening when I was a kid have they have ended them. It's no longer happening. So they are more grounded, they are more peaceful, and they are more focused. However, that the way they lived has left a certain scars and wounds in my life.
Okay. So you, when you were young, you had the stepfather. You said that you felt a bit he was abusive and all these things. Then he leaves for 2 years, and in those 2 years, you experience the feminine energy. Then he comes back. Does the abusiveness continue, or does he come back a different person?
Uh, this is something that has kept happening, and it is something that I would say there is a way. The relationship that I have had with my mom for a long time has been able to impact my life. And there is a way the relationship that I have had with the dad has also impacted my life. So both they have a positive side of it, and both they have the negative side of that. So for me, in my journey of healing, what I have been focusing on, it's like what is missing in my life in order for me to actually find a full identity of who I am as a man. Because as I said in the beginning, if the two, the feminine and the masculine, they are not healthy, then 100%, or else to some big extent, then the child is not going to be healthy to some level of extent.
Mhm.
Yes.
Okay, so how was life after him coming back?
After the dad,
Yes.
um, life was good. Was good because it's been a journey for it's been a journey for all of us as a family. You know, everyone has had his struggles, and when I think to some extent, when I was not able to connect with my stepdad, when we were not able to connect at all, it reached a point where he was no longer bothering trying to tell me what to do, because he noticed that was no longer paying attention to whatever he was saying. And so for me, I decided to actually embark on a journey to finding who I was.
Before you go to, when did he notice that you are not listening to him? When did you stop listening to him, and why?
Mm, from the time that I was a kid, I had a habit of going to the movies. I used to like watching kung fu movies. We were living in Dandora Phase 2, and the Phase 5, that's where the movies used to be. So around 9:30, uh 10:30, they used to have kung fu movies there, Jackie Chan, Jet Li, Van Damme, and I had an addiction to go and watch movies. And he did not want me to be around video shows or be watching movies. And so he wanted me to be a different kind of a kid, to be in a there is a way that he wanted me to be, but I wasn't like paying attention to that. I was very rebellious,
Mhm.
and I wasn't following instructions, and as a result, there was some differences in between us.
So when you had the differences with your stepfather,
Mm.
how was your relationship then with your mother? Did you listen to your mother and not listen to your stepfather, or how was your relationship with your mother during those times when you're fighting with your stepfather?
My relationship with mother was good, because during those times my mom would come and she would kind of give me advice on how I am supposed to behave, on how I am supposed to handle my dad, and that's the best thing that my mom could actually do.
What did she tell you to do? For example, let's say stepdad has come and what did he tell you to do, or how did he tell you to relate to him? How did she tell you, sorry, to relate to him?
Mm, to stop going to the movies. She would like tell me, you know, when you go to the movies, your father will beat you, and this habit you should stop. And your father, don't see your father as a very bad man. He just wants the best for you, but I really have to behave. Those kind of advices.
So you can say that despite the fact that your father was a stepfather, your mother used to speak well of him and would encourage you to respect him and love him. Is that what you would summarize that relationship as?
Yeah, but also I feel, even from the aspect that you are asking that question,
Mm.
it's a lot, leave alone even the mother and the dad. Because I feel when it comes to um, family matters and relationships, it's a whole kind of a thing that needs a lot of wisdom and needs a lot of knowledge. And I would say my parents are amazing people. However, I will want to say this with a lot of the love and with a lot of respect. I just feel they had knowledge and wisdom to a certain level, um, because I don't know whether they were able to figure out my behaviors, where they were coming from. Um, bec- for me, when I tried to figure out how I grew up with the parents that I have grown up, and I have asked a lot of questions like, why did I have to go through what I went through with my parents? And in my introspection, what I found is that I had asked my mom about my biological dad, and she had told me some few things about my biological dad. And I have also introspected myself, checked in with myself, and I have seen, I don't know if you have ever been into a space where you're struggling with some things as a man, and you're like, I know I'm a good man, but the things that I'm struggling with, this is not like my nature. They say, like in Swahili, damu ni nzito kuliko matope. So it's like I'm having these things in me. It's like I was having the traits of my biological dad. Like that rebellious thing, that don't care, that you just a kid who is a gangster. So like that, I don't care about whoever says anything. I think I just had that kind of nature, and
So up to this point, had you ever met your biological father, or do you know him?
hiyo story ilifichwa.
Okay.
I
You've never met him.
I didn't I never met my biological dad.
Okay.
There was a time I really struggled. There was a time I around 2019 there. I don't remember exactly the year, but it was around 2019 there, 2020. I really tried to figure out about my biological dad, to an extent that I had to call my mom and ask her a lot of questions about my biological dad. And she told me some few things, such as your dad passed away. You know, they did not interact with her after she left and had another relationships. And I tried to ask some details about my biological dad, but I got some few. At least I know that I'm a Kikuyu.
Okay.
My biological dad was a Kikuyu.
You're a Kikuyu called Muli.
Ni Kikuyu anaitwa Muli bwana. Kikuyu called Muli. Kalu.
Kalu.
Kalulu.
Yeah.
And I heard his name was Kamande. So Kamande, kama uko huko. If you're Kamande, you're out
Tokelezea.
there. Your son is here. Has been
Mr. Kamande,
Kamande,
kama uko hapo umesikia,
your son is here.
your son is here. He's saying he wants to see you.
I want to see you. Yeah.
Okay.
So I was told that the name was Kamande. Then I felt something a bit was off. I called my grandmother. I asked her about the details, and she just told me a bit about the family. That my dad was there. Was living in Nigetito in Thika, and then they left there. And like the guy, the dad died. That's what I had, and then I had to make peace with that story.
Okay.
I just said it was too much for me, and I didn't want to spend most of my energy like looking for these details. So I just wanted to move on with my life. So I made peace with my parents, and I made peace with myself. That's
Yeah.
it.
And this is what it goes to the saying that I was giving, that you cannot decide. You have no choice of where you get born.
Mm.
whether it is a house where there is both the mother and the father, or there is a single mother house. You have no choice. And you find yourself in whatever situation you find yourself. That is not the problem. But what I tell people, you are responsible for how you turn out.
Mm.
How you turn out, despite the traumas of living a fatherless life, despite the traumas of not having a masculine man in your life, there is always hope for someone to turn out differently, because you are just responsible for how you turn out. And we'll talk about the remedies and what one ought to do when they come up in such a family. So let's continue with the story. Your dad has come back. Now you're what age at this time when dad is back?
My biological dad, they just had issues with my mom. It's just in the
No,
beginning.
no, not your
Oh,
biological.
my
Your
stepdad.
stepdad when he
Yeah,
came back.
yeah. When he came back,
Mm.
my other dad was stepdad. They just separated with my mom. They have separated twice.
Okay.
So when I was a kid, around 1982,
Mhm.
and somewhere when I was in class 6, 7 there.
Class 6, 7.
Yeah, that's the two times that they have separated,
Okay.
but they have been together.
So is that the time that you are going to the movies at class 6, 7? You know the time you know Rambo and Commando.
I started going to the movies when I was a kid.
Okay.
Until today, I haven't stopped watching movies.
Okay.
It's just a thing that is in me. I just love movies. I have always loved movies, and I will always love movies. And maybe one of these fine days, I will do
You'll do a movie yourself.
a movie about my story.
Okay. So after that, how was life now? You are now in grade 6, study 6. How was life moving forward? Let's move to maybe your adult life.
Um, we moved from my grandmother's side. Uh, because there was a time that my parents shifted us as kids to my grandmother's side so that they could prepare themselves as parents and then like take us back. So in 2000, I would say 2000, that's when we came to Nairobi,
Okay.
in a place called Uruma. So I joined Ngay PAG Primary School.
Okay.
It's in Bishop Gitonga's church, Apple. From 2000 to 2003. Then from 2004 to 2000 from 2003 to 2007, I finished my high school in Isli High School.
Easily.
Isli
Okay.
High School.
Mhm.
2008, 2009, I did not go to any college or any university because my parents were not stable.
Mhm.
In 2010, my parents' job, like, they lost their job,
Okay.
and so they went back to the village. And so this is where I made the most difficult choice in my life
Okay.
in 2010.
Mhm.
So it's either I choose to go with my parents to the village, I become a village boy,
Mhm.
or I stay in Nairobi and find a dream here.
Okay.
And so I remained in the street. So the whole of 2010, I stayed in the streets of Nairobi,
So you're practically homeless. You're just
homeless.
just around the streets.
I'm just a wanderer.
How was life in the streets?
Was very difficult. I did not have food. I did not have a place to sleep. I did not have clothes. And I really struggled. I did not have anyone uh, that could help me with a place, no shelter. Let me say it was very difficult. I tried to find shelter, to seek help from friends during that time, and I wasn't able to do that.
And how old were you at that time?
I was around 22, 23.
22, 23.
23
Okay.
there. 22,
So there are
23.
people you tried to call, and what did they tell you?
I tried to reach to people, but let me say like this. I guess I felt rejection. I felt lonely. I felt like a kid who had no help from anyone. I would say this is a point for me as a man where I felt, I need to stand for something as a man. And the thought that came into my mind is that I have to do something with my life so that I can become a great man on influence. I want to leave a footprint of myself back. And that's how I trusted myself that I could come out of the streets. And I would say one thing that I know that made me come out of the streets was like the positive thinking. I really developed a strong muscle to be very positive about myself. Like I could get a house, like I could get a place, and that's the time that I actually ended up finding myself in the temple as a monk.
Before we go to the temple,
Yes.
I want to talk about you at 22 years.
Yes.
You are in Nairobi. Your parents have gone to Ushago.
Mm-hmm.
You are in Nairobi. You have no one to help you.
Mm-hmm.
You have no place to eat. You have no place to sleep. How did you survive that 1 year? 1 year is 365 days. How did you survive that 1 year before now getting to the temple? How did you survive? If somebody were to ask you, how did you survive?
In Uruma, there was a group called Unasi. So Unasi was an Afrofusion kind of a group.
Okay.
So those were like the first African musicians like to present us internationally before the what do you call this group? Yakina BN.
Sauti Sol.
Before the South Soul. So they had an organization in Uruma called Slam Sana.
Or Slam Sana. Okay.
So they used to teach young people in the slums how to sing, how to play music instruments, and they had a small place there, and that is the place where I was taking shelter, sleeping there.
Okay.
But that's where I was sleeping, and I would just after sleeping when I wake up in the morning, I would just wake up and just go
Just walk around the streets
walk
of
around.
Nairobi.
Yeah, the idea was like because I am living in the ghetto. The idea like is I I don't I I wanted to change the mentality of being in the slum or the mentality of living in the ghetto. So what I focused on is like uh what most of us used to say as young boys living in the ghetto during those time. It's like because we know that we come from poverty-stricken areas. It's like we knew that the ghetto is not going to give us any kind of rich or wealthy or that kind of stuff. So our idea is like when we wake up in the morning, you have to go somewhere. But our idea as young people during those times, me and my friends, was like when you wake up in the morning, you either go to places like Runda, Valley Arcade, Westlands, and those kind of spaces.
Okay.
And actually, that's one of those places was actually where I found my shelter.
So you grew up in the ghetto, you move around the streets. How did you get to the temple? You told me you were a monk. Jamaa alikuwa monk. How do you get to the temple? How did it happen?
I was in a vehicle passing by Chandarana, that Ngara fig tree road. Then I saw a temple, and I remembered that when I was young, I used to watch a lot of Shaolin temple movies. And I was very curious, I had this thing at the back of my mind. The temple is a very nice place, it's a calm place, it's a very relaxing place. And the people that live in the temple are actually very nice people. And at this point in my life, I was ready even to dedicate my life to become a monk. As long as I have shelter, and I was willing to become a monk. And so I decided to come out of the vehicle and go and see what, go and inquire about the temple. And that's how I ended up just being in the temple. I was very fortunate. I found a boy, his name was Rithik, at the gate.
Okay.
Rithik asked me, "Hey, why are you here?" I told him that I am here because I am seeking spirituality. She introduced me to another lady there called Bindu. She was an Indian lady. Bindu introduced me to a guy called Gorashakti, Gibson, call him Gibson. And then Gibson told me, if you want to, you can actually come and stay in the temple for 2 weeks and learn about this philosophy and this knowledge. Then I was like, if I learn this thing, am I going to become a billionaire? Then he said, most of the people who come to learn this philosophy, most of them are billionaires and they are very rich. So there are a lot of chances that when you come here and learn this knowledge, you will become a very influential person in your life. And that's how I ended up. So I didn't tell him, I didn't want to show him that I was going through hell. So I told him, I'll go home. See, I've already had I'm going to be given 2 weeks or 3 weeks
Accommodation, yeah.
accommodation. That means that all my needs are being accommodated. So I told him I'm going home, get my things, and then I'll come back, because I didn't want to show him that I was desperate. And he said, you can come anytime you want. So I went home, nikaenda huko in the slum sana, put everything aside, then some few clothes, I washed them, and then I came to the temple. They asked me why I wanted to join. I told them that I was struggling with father figure issues, and I wanted to learn how to overcome that. And when they heard the reason that I had behind me coming to the temple, then they accepted me. The temple does not just allow anyone to just come and study or be part of it unless they are sure 100% that you're someone who's going to commit yourself to the study and learning. So that's how they accepted me, and I became a monk.
Oh, so they first inquired why you're joining. You told them that you were struggling with fatherlessness.
Yes.
And you wanted to overcome it.
Yes, I told them that I was struggling with bitterness, anger. I am unable to forgive my stepdad, and I have listened to other religions. I'm a Christian, but I'm not able to let go of that, and I really want to learn how to forgive and love again.
Okay, before we get to the lady now you met, now in the temple, what were the lessons? What were you taught? And have they helped to shape you? What did you learn in the temple?
This question is asked by everyone. Everyone, you guys should go to the temple and
No, I've been
visit.
there.
That
I've been
is the
there.
day.
I've been to this one in Forest Road, and we studied a bit of Hinduism. So I have been there. I've been inside there. I have met the guys, but not very much. I have read books on these guys who a monk.
Okay.
There's one called, I think, Robin Sharma, if I'm not wrong. He's a monk, and he's written several books.
Okay.
Yes. So, what did you learn?
To be honest with you, the best thing that has ever happened in my life is to be in the temple. That place that I ran for shelter was the best place. First of all, and it's not that I have issues with church. This is not personal.
Yeah, it's fine.
I am a Christian. Currently I'm a Christian. And I guess wherever I went through was God trying to teach me something about Him, about His love. Before going to the temple, I had gone to some few churches that I knew that were doing very well. Some churches that I had served as a gospel musician because I used to be gospel musicians. Most of the gospel musicians in Kenya, most of them know me. And so I went to these churches and talked to some of the leaders about my situation, what I was going through. And they looked down on me. They refused to support me during that time. And I couldn't understand why that I am a follower of Jesus, I'm a Christian, and yet my own family, wasn't there for me, did not help me. I was actually asking myself, why is it like these people worship idols and practice this kind of lifestyle are the one who came in for my life? And that thing changed my perception, on how I look at people and how I look at religious institution, and gave me an insight about spirituality. And now I understand so well, like spiritual life is a personal journey. It has nothing to do with religions. It has nothing to do with
So let me ask. So you're saying that from the people who you expected to help you, the Christians, you did not get any help.
Yeah.
They looked down upon you when you shared with them your story. And this is something that has also disturbed me as a professing Christian. That we have very many people who profess and claim that they are Christians. And when it comes to helping people who are in need, we are not very welcoming or not very willing to help. Some of the reasons, they are part of the reasons. I know some of the reasons, and this might be one way ya kujitetea. I personally have interacted with very many con people in the name of I need help. There's a guy who came and found me here in church.
Okay.
And he was pretending to be dumb. He cannot talk. So he cannot hear, he cannot talk. And he was pulling a conversation with me. He wanted me to help. So he comes to the office and he asks for a piece of paper.
Okay.
So I'm looking at him and I see that this is a guy who is disabled. So I give him a paper and he writes, I need food, I need hearing aid, I need all these things. And I'm like, by the way, I was so into helping him until I think he excused himself from the office and went out and stole the phone from the reception. Turns out weeks later, we find him shouting around here. So he's a guy who is okay. So some of the people have used disability to trick other people. You get a little bit concerned when you meet these people who are not genuine. Of course, there are many cases of people who are very genuine in their need. Like you're saying, you are looking for shelter, you are a singer, and you wanted to get refuge from that very place where you worship God. So that is one way. But again, there are other people who just don't want to help. And there are many. And they give God such a bad name. They give Christianity such a bad name. Because they cause people to be disgusted by Christianity. And it's not a good thing.
I think what I would add to that. This is my experience, and when I say my experience, this is something I'm sure of what I'm talking. I told you that I currently have a church that I go now and I love, and such an amazing church. But even before I started going to the church that I'm going now, I I had tried different churches in terms of s- um, in terms of trying to seek opportunities to do some certain things. And one of the things that I noticed that is there in so many churches, it's not the church has not yet opened. There are a lot of church. Currently, we have churches which are opening more diversity in reaching more people. However, I feel that church is slowly growing in terms of reaching the unreached.
Okay.
I feel it's actually doing that, but it's actually doing it very slowly because I feel like it's like in one way I'd say in some churches there are a level of fear where they say, we allow some certain things in church. We do not allow some certain things in church because that is a very common thing in churches.
Yeah.
As we are holy people, as we worship God, so we allow this. We do not allow this.
So let's come back to you being in the temple. What did you learn in the temple? How long were you in the temple?
7 years.
7 years. What did you learn in a nutshell in those 7 years?
I learned love. I learned that there is one God, and besides having so many religions, we should find a way to love each other, regardless of our different denomination. You know, the real love, you know, real religion means to love one another. So if I'm a Christian, I can love a Muslim can love a Hindu. Um, just when we are going through crisis, we can support each other, even when we are from different religions. You can support my idea as a Muslim or as a Hindu. As a Christian, I can also support someone else. I feel that is a perception that I learned from the temple. And also, I learned that marriages do work, but there have to be some certain practices and boundaries that make relationships and marriages work. Boys have to be trained properly, and ladies also have to be trained properly for marriages to work. Discipline is a key in the temple, and also knowledge. I feel I have learned so much knowledge uh, from the temple, and some some good association, some good foods. They are vegetarian. Yes.
Yes. I've seen those foods. Like I told you, I went to this temple here on Forest Road, and we went for a study.
Yeah.
I'm also equally very curious person when it comes to knowing things. That's why you see in this studio we have many books. We have many books. We love to read and get knowledge, so that even when I'm showing up on camera, I'm not showing up as someone who's coming to create content.
Yeah.
I'm sure when I talk about marriage, I'm talking about something that I've read, I've observed, I've researched, and all these things. And we are going to come to the marriage type part of it actually.
Yes.
So did you get married when you left the temple, or did that relationship start when you were still in the temple?
First, I'm not married,
Okay.
and I'm single and searching.
Okay.
Make sure you market me well.
Yes, he's single and searching. If you are there and you are also searching, you are two of you who are searching, you can continue searching in our page. Subscribe and search. We will matchmake you.
Yes.
And tutawakutanisha.
So what was the question?
The question was, there is this lady you told me you were involved with.
Okay.
And how did you meet? Was it during the time when you were in the temple or after you left the temple?
After I left the temple, 2020.
And before you go there, did you was it like a course you went through for 7 years, or you just got to a point and you decided to leave? Or was it time up?
For me, I reached to a point where I felt I didn't want that part. I felt like I got what I wanted there.
Okay.
I got what I wanted there. So, and I wanted to move on with my life. Yeah.
Good. Then you now move. So how did you meet this lady?
We met on Facebook.
Okay.
She was doing yoga with a friend of mine who we had been trained in the same institution. And so I used to see her doing yoga sessions with this guy. And she would look at my Facebook because I was also a yoga teacher and I was posting a lot of stuff on my Facebook.
Yeah.
So she would like every day. She would come and like my status, and I was like, who is this lady who, likes my status every single day? And then I got into her DM, I asked her about her name, and then I got her number, and that's how we connected.
Okay.
Connected the lady.
Yeah, it's a good story for millennials. These Gen Zs here don't understand. These Gen Zs don't understand anything about meeting on Facebook. They just think that internet was invented when they were born.
Internet works. Internet works.
We had an app called To Go. We unajua To Go? There was an app called To Go. You would tell someone, if you want to meet them in town, you tell them, hey, tukutane Stanford. Then utaenda, it didn't have photos. Haikuwa na photos. So you go to opposite Stanford and you stand there and wait for that lady to come. If anakaa poa, tick. If anakaa otherwise, you disappear and you never get to see each other. So that's what we used to do.
You can find a partner anywhere in any platform. However, you just have to know how
to get them.
Yes.
So ours was our dating site was Facebook, and you would poke her and she would poke you back. Poke, and she would poke endlessly, poking and then when you get more courage, you go into the DMs, and the rest is history. It's a story of how I met your mother. So now you have texted this lady, you started meeting together. At what point did you guys start living together, if you ever did?
I had looked at the intensity of this relationship, and I had also looked at where I was in terms of space, in terms of my finance, in terms of my strength and everything. And so I thought, because this was my first relationship, I thought, because she is doing yoga and I'm a yoga teacher, and she's not employed, she doesn't have an income, we can actually do come together.
Come we stay.
It's called Come We Stay. Because she was a single mom, and she
of a girl or a son or a daughter?
boy.
Of a boy. Okay.
And I feel she was just an amazing lady. with an amazing boy, and my idea is like I wanted to marry her,
Okay.
and I had actually loved the boy and everything about this woman. So my idea was like, I want to live with this lady and um, empower her and you know be a role model with her in the society that single moms can work. Unfortunately,
No, before you get to the unfortunate, let me ask you, when you're meeting this lady, and let's say the first time you met the son, and you are considering getting into a serious relationship, because I believe by the time you're meeting the son, you are considering getting into the relationship was a bit serious, isn't it? Did it take you back to your life growing up, because you were the child of a single mother, and there is a man who came in as a stepdad. Did that come into mind at that time?
this is how I looked at it. I saw myself as a man who struggled with a mom while growing up.
Okay.
And I saw this lady as a mom who is struggling with a boy.
Okay.
And so for me, I was like, this is what happens in the society. And I want to do something to change that. I want to do something. I want to do something to create hope and to also help people see like it is possible to be with a single mom and it is possible to love their children and to create things. Was my idea, but I knew I had to put a lot of work into making this kind of relationship work. What I didn't know, it's like I don't know how to put words.
Tell us how did it go? How did it go?
It's something that I really wanted. I would definitely, even now, I would definitely have thought about it. I would definitely date a single mom if to some extent with some certain things, conditions maybe. Um, but I feel how do I put it? The woman that I met also had issues and she had not dealt with her issues and we were triggering each other.
What were the issues,
The issues,
according to you?
Issues were like she was brought up in an environment where there was no father.
Okay.
Yeah, so I feel she didn't have boundaries. And she was an amazing lady. She was loved by many people. Everyone wanted to be around her. And I guess that's one of the things that made me really like love her so much because
Okay.
she had the vibe, she had the energy. She was very clean and she was a Kikuyu kutoka Nyandarua. She had amazing qualities. She was a good cook. But I tell you, what messed us up, it's the trauma. It's the trauma. And when we started triggering each other, we didn't know. Things just started to happen. Like we love each other so much, but then we just reached to a point where we are having differences. Someone doesn't want to sit down and have the conversation. Someone gets angry so quickly. Someone believes this about the other person, and all those things started to create difficulty in the relationship. And at the end of it, that relationship between that wonderful woman did not work.
Did you what were the causes of fights? If you maybe not getting into too much detail, but how was the fighting?
What do you mean? How was the fighting?
I mean, what issues
Yes.
would trigger the fight?
Oh, oh, hmm. Money, money. I would say money. Um, I'm very intentional with money. Um, I believe that money is it should be directed for the right reasons. For me, I believe that because I make money to some level and I have some responsibility as a man. And so I was looking at the money, uh, being directed towards the kids' well-being, like in school, and also us having accommodations, make sure that we are having shelter and everything. And those are things that I showed up as a man, and I made sure that those things were happening the time that I was living with this woman. I had really, in my part, I played my part of um, financial stability very well, and I really gave it 100%. Um, I also wanted like to empower her and help her to make her own money and to be able to support the kid just in case we have anything disagreement in between us, because you never know about relationships. So I wanted her to have like full 100% responsibilities, So I also came up with a system to support her to make those money. However, there was a time when I gave her like yoga classes and everything. There was that's where things turns wrong. I don't like talking about that story, but that's how I ended up being left.
If without going into too much detail, did she leave you for another man?
She wasn't. Let me make it clear.
Mhm.
I do not cheat in relationships, and I'm not planning to cheat anyone, and it is not in my gene. My parents never cheated each other. It is not in our generation, whatever. And from what I knew, the woman that I was interacting, she wasn't cheating. She wasn't cheating. I am not sure, but I felt like she was very honest. She was struggling with other things, but not like cheating. I would say she was
Okay,
cheating.
so the breakup was not as a result of
No, not
that.
cheating, not cheating.
So how was life in that home, other than the struggle that you've talked about, money? What other thing?
Struggle.
Because these are the things that I post on TikTok. I talk a lot about relationships and I give the struggles. And I hear men tell me, I know money is a major issue
Yeah.
when it comes to people breaking up. A lot of money is an issue, and lack of money is also an issue.
They say money, honey, sweeter than honey.
So it is not the lack of it that is the real issue. Also, having it in excess is also an issue. So money is one of the major relationship deal breakers. Guys get so before I even go to that thought, was there any other issue apart from money?
What about the issues? I would say my issue. Let me speak about the issue that I felt. I felt like I told my ex that I had a dream that one day I will be on social media and I will be talking to people and I will be talking about relationships. And I want a woman who supports me. And I am a bigger supporter of single moms. And I want to give them hope because I saw what my mom went through. And because she has also been in the same thing, I want her to stand with me as a man as I embark on this journey of creating hope in the world. The challenge is like having a woman who doesn't trust me as a man, because it's very clear of what I want to do. I'm very clear about it. I knew it was a very intense journey for me. However, I was sure that I would definitely do it. I know that I'm meant to talk about families, to talk about healing, to talk about restoration, and I'm meant to travel around the world and just help people to reconcile and make peace with each other. And I feel we didn't share the same vision.
Okay, you wanted different things.
Yes, we wanted different. Was it different because she loved almost the same things that I liked, but I think she was into friends more than into a relationship. She was more something that I saw. She would listen more to the friends more than she would listen to me.
Oh, the friends were in the relationship.
Yeah, some kind of that.
She was getting advice from
Yes.
besties.
Yes.
Were
But
these friends male or female or both?
she had a lot of male friends, my friend. She had a lot of male friends, my friend.
You know my view on your woman having male friends.
I don't want even to hear about it.
Yeah, I usually tell guys. No, I usually tell guys this. One of a major red flag in a relationship is when a woman entertains a lot of male friends. When a woman entertains a lot of male friends, not all you know. I don't have a problem with a woman. I have a problem with the men she is entertaining because I am a man and I know how men behave when a woman entertains them. So I usually tell men not to allow that. I usually tell them, do not allow your significant other to have many male friends because it doesn't end well. It ends badly.
Stay with all the men that you want in the world, but don't sleep with any man. That's the way I would tell the women. Yeah. Yeah. Make all the friends that you want, because one of the things that I'm realizing, women nowadays, they won't stay without the men. So stay with all the men that you want, but don't sleep with any man.
Okay.
Yes.
So, how different were you from your stepfather?
How different?
Yes, in this relationship with this lady you had, you said he had a son. She had a son, sorry. She had a son. How different were you from your dad? Or did you become your stepfather?
My friend, I was a copyright.
You became your stepfather. The one you were running away from.
Let me tell you. Let me tell you.
Yes.
This relationship is the best thing that has happened in my life. This relationship is the one that gave me a sense of purpose in my life. It gave me a sense of direction. It is a relationship that gave me the strength to introspect myself and find my journey of healing. And I saw the version of my stepdad, and I saw that version and I saw that version in me, and I had a lot of questions running in my mind. Am I going to be, you know am I going to be like him, or am I going to be different? And it also made me see him as a man. I understood, because there are a lot of talks about men struggling. I was able to look him as a man and ask myself, as a man, how has it been like for him to actually be with a woman who has a kid? How has it for him being with a man like me who has not been like respecting him? And actually, I was like, hey, this man has gone through so much. And I was like, I think he deserves flowers and he deserves some kind of acknowledgement and appreciation. However, to be honest, I don't feel if I have the strength and the energy to actually be stronger than him.
Okay.
I want to be different. kabisa. I want to be different kabisa.
So let me ask, what made you now decide to be different in this relationship? Was it the breakup, or was there something specific that made you want to be different?
There is a pattern in my relationships, and I have thought about it carefully, whether I want the pattern to continue or whether I want to end the pattern. And I've been consciously thinking about it. And that is one thing that I might want to change or work on the perception of it. And also, I want to be. What was the question before I say the wrong thing? I don't like saying the wrong
No,
thing.
the question was, or the question is, what really led you to discover yourself in this relationship? Because you said that it was in this relationship that you took a turning point, that you discovered now yourself. You started being conscious. What led to that moment when you say, I want to change?
It was the heartbreak.
The heartbreak.
The heartbreak. That one hit me, my friend.
Yes.
That thing. I wish I could have some words to just put some things to make people understand how that heartbreak hit me. It was a crazy hit, and because I was crying a lot.
She was the one who left you.
I remember who left each other? Do I remember? Do I even?
You just remember crying.
I cried a lot in that. I cried. To be honest,
Yes.
I cried a lot, many times. And I mean serious. How I said this relationship gave me a sense of purpose, a sense of direction, and this like of energy to just want to talk about relationships and healing. I remember there was a time I went to church. The current church that I'm under, Bishop Kathy Kiuna, and she's an amazing spiritual leader. And I went to church on this day. So it was on a tent outside the main church. So me, I wasn't going to the main church. I was going to the tent outside. And then there was a lady, there was a lady who was leading prayers. And she began to pray. And when she began to pray, I began to cry. I was crying because I was really struggling.
It was a heartbreak.
Heartbreak. I was struggling.
Yes.
She's praying. And then I began to cry. Man, I cried in the church. I cried. The tears were coming out of my eyes. And the tears were hot and I was burning. They were like burning my skin. They were too many. They were like raindrops. And then I don't know. It's like the preacher saw me crying. And then she said, God, quicken the healing of those that are struggling. Quicken the healing of those that are struggling with some stuffs in life.
You were a struggler. You were struggling.
Yeah. I was struggling, man. I was going through so much. And that was the point that I said, these tears that I have cried, that have come down like this, I am going to dedicate my life, to commit my life to helping other people, because I do not want anyone to go through what I went through. Yes, that is something that really made me.
They usually say that a rock bottom is a man's best place. I keep telling people, when you see someone, for example, myself, I'm very enthusiastic about bodybuilding and lifting weights and getting fit. I have a very sad story about it. I was at rock bottom. When you get to rock bottom, no man should be afraid of the heartbreak. No man should be afraid of rock bottom because it is from down there. The only way is up. You know, when you are at rock bottom, if you go any further, you are dead. If you go any further from rock bottom, is just death. But the only way from rock bottom for a man or anyone who's going through any struggle for that matter is up. So people tend to stick too much at rock bottom because it seems like there is nowhere else to go. But rock bottom is a place of hope. The only thing one needs to do is to look up and climb.
Exactly.
It's not an easy thing to come back up from rock bottom. But that is the birth of every man. All those have had their story. Every man you admire has that story. That's why I was asking you, ilifika wapi? Where did you say I will change? And you see, and it is so many things. And one of the thing that makes men change the most is heartbreak. Whenever a man is heartbroken
Yeah.
by a woman, they become a beast after that.
Yes.
They either become worse
Yes.
or they become better
Yes.
and never go back to those mistakes.
Yes.
So for a man, it is okay to welcome these challenges. It is okay. Whenever, and this is to those who are viewing and listening to us, whenever you get to a place where you feel like you are at the end of the road, some decide to commit suicide to end their life, some decide to give up. Don't. It is a hard place and you're coming out. How the movies that you like watching, because I also like watching those. I used to watch those kind of movies. The Shaolin. The main character is usually first beaten, first minute is beaten, the family taken. He becomes nothing.
Yeah.
When the movie is starting, isn't it?
Yes.
And then we are taken through a journey of this character improving himself.
Yes.
And then he goes and conquers.
That's exactly the thing that I used to love about movies.
Okay.
I think that is the idea that made me see myself as a hero, as a legend, as it's a character that I didn't have and I had not seen anywhere. And I think wherever you have just shared is exactly the same thing that I wanted to copyright into my life. Become someone, become something. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how now is life after the heartbreak, after now you've collected yourself, and how did you collect yourself back? How did, after the crying and all that, how did you get back?
Actually, there was an experience that I did not share with you. This was in the relationship. Before I made a decision that I really don't want to be in that relationship, as I was really struggling. Should I stay in the relationship? Should I let it go, or should I stay in the relationship? There was a point that I got into depression, and I had some suicidal thoughts. And at that point was the point that I said, now that my mind has gotten to this level that I feel like I need to commit suicide, uh, I need to let this go. I need to let this go, and that is how I began my journey of sharing. I decided that I just accepted at that moment that I had some certain weaknesses, or I had really experienced a lot, and I thought of possible ways that I could come up with to become a mighty man of valor. And one of the biggest challenges that I had during that moment was I knew that as a man, it is very difficult for me to find a voice. It is very difficult for me to find a voice, and it will be very difficult for me to be listened to. and that's how I began my journey. So since I didn't have a lot of people, I didn't have anywhere where I could actually get a proper support system to really help me with the healing. But then because I'm a yoga teacher and I know how to connect with my body and I know how to move myself, I said I will create a safe space for my healing to just talk about my own story. And that's how I began my uh, program, workshops for mental wellness. I began mental wellness back in 2023. I did my first mental wellness workshop in 2023, and since then, every year I actually run two mental health workshops. You should come.
I will. I
You
will.
should come.
I'll
Then
definitely come.
the next one is on 13 December.
That in this, I'll definitely come.
And
Now, let me ask the last question before now we go, and I'll give you an opportunity to also talk about your socials and how people can find you.
okay.
What lessons would you give to a young person who is growing up without a father, uh, struggling in life and feeling like they are hopeless? What lessons would you give them? What would you tell them as an advice on how to cope with life, even when they find themselves without a father figure in their family?
Uh, father figure issues is a very complex issue. It is a very serious issue. And if you are a woman, you have grown without a father figure issues, or you are a man who have grown without a father figure. I said father figure issues.
Father figure, it's
So
okay.
it's okay. So if you are a woman, you have grown without a father figure, or a man without a father figure, it's a very, very serious problem. And I have seen ladies, most of the time ladies, who never grew up with a father. Very nice ladies, amazing ladies, get into relationships, but because they do not understand the intensity of not having a father figure in their lives, they keep having these relationships where they are not working. It's not like the ladies are bad, but then the relationships are not working because they do not understand how to handle men, you know? And also and that's something that I really encourage. And even when I'm having conversation with the ladies that have grown in areas or spaces where they have not had a father figure, I really want to, push them and have conversation with them and give them possibilities of what they could encounter when they come around men, because men are wired differently from ladies. When it comes to the men, father figure is also a very big issue, because for me, one of the things is like the expression, the exposure. When, for example, me, that I didn't have that exposure and that expression thing, I have been really struggling a lot in terms of expressing myself and getting exposure outside there. And I feel one thing that I would advise, uh because I've been working as a man, so one thing that, and I think it's a two-way traffic for men and women. One thing that I know, if I, for example, for me, let me speak from my knowing that I did not have a father figure. First I had to go into introspection to look at the details. And those details also, something else I would say, healing can also work so well if you work with your parents. Kind of inquire some questions about your growing up from the parents. And if they are able to give you that, you can actually heal so well. And I would like to ask the parents that have boys or have children to be very open to have conversation with their boys, especially if you're a single mom and you are raising a boy. Be very open to have this conversation with your boys, so that you give them some information, so when they need those information, they can be able to use those information to actually to be able to build themselves up. Last but not least, um, when you do not have a father figure, it's like you are a blind person, trying to cross a road, you know, and higher chances, say 10% chances, like you're going to be hit by a vehicle. So it comes with a lot of practice, because you really want to embrace that masculinity, you want to embrace that kind of strength and that kind of energy of being a man. So you must be willing to come apart, because it comes with a lot of failures. You do a lot of stuff, so you fail, but you don't stay down. Once you have an experience, you fail, you come back, you work on yourself, but at the back of your mind, you exactly know what you're working on. You know what you are looking for as a man. Then immediately you can be able to find those you can be able to fill those empty spaces and those voidness that you have as a man, and you can actually be able to stand out as a man, and also have a lot of conversation with the men, hang around with the men, learn a lot from men, hang around men that have successful marriages, and also embrace that spirit of masculinity into yourself. So the things I might say.
Okay, that is some nice advice there. And today I was doing the listening. Thank you so much, Peace, for your story and the things that we have shared here. And I would encourage, if you, how would people reach you if they want to find you?
You can get me on social medias. Kalu Peace Child on TikTok, Kalu Peace Child on Instagram, Kalu Peace Child on Facebook, Kalu Peace Child everywhere. And you
Okay.
can also you can find me at Parklands Diamond Plaza, second floor. We have a yoga studio there.
Oh, you have a yoga studio.
Yeah, you can
I'll,
always
I'll pay you a visit, by the way.
You
And
should come.
your event in December, I'll try and come. I want to learn yoga so that when I'm telling guys on the other episode that I was in my house doing yoga, nilikuwa nafanya yoga origi. So thank you so much for joining us. If you like this video, or if you have a story that you would like to share with us of you growing up and the challenges that you faced, and if you would like to come and encourage some other people who are going through some certain challenges, you're welcome to our studio. You can come, you can hit us up on the number on your screen, and we'll be able to have a chance to talk with you just like we have done with Peace. So thank you. Remember to subscribe, remember to share, remember to like, remember to leave a comment and tell us what you would like to see from us moving forward. And when all is said and done, we are here to make better people, better society, a people who, if it is the men who are masculine, if it is the women who are feminine. And that is our sole purpose or our sole mission in this world. So see you in the next episode. Peace.
Peace.